so much for joining me for some wonderful waking up yoga today. We're going to stretch out our hips and our shoulders and the sides of our body so that we feel awake and a little bit warm perhaps and ready for a luxurious shavasana. You may want to have a blanket for your knees, or of course just to pull over yourself at the end of class, and then any other props that make your class comfortable. We are going to be doing a bit of triangle work, so if you like to have a block for your triangle or two blocks, please go ahead and grab one, but it's not required. You can use anything that is block height or block shaped as well. When you are ready, go ahead and come to lie down on your back for a moment. And of course, as you're coming onto your back, you just want to take a few moments to get comfortable. And that means that you might have the soles of your feet on the floor. You might have your legs extended out long. That might feel good. You might need to have your knees into your chest to have your back feel good on the mat. Do whatever you need to do. Relax your shoulders. Soften your jaw. And then as you're ready, the sole of your left foot will be on the mat. Your left knee is pointing up towards the sky, and your right knee is going to come towards your right armpit. The sole of your right foot is going to work to face up towards the ceiling. You can hold the back of your thigh, you can hold your calf, you can hold your ankle, or you can hold your foot for half happy baby, just gently drawing that right thigh down towards the hip socket. Feel free, of course, to move around here if that's what feels good, just exploring your hip. If you are feeling quite open in your inner hip, you could always extend your left leg long to the bottom of the mat for this one. Take another deep breath here in your half happy baby. And then we'll go into a little bit of a unicorn. So that means you're just going to take your right foot over to the left. You can hold your foot, you can hold the outside of your calf or your thigh. Maybe you extend your right arm for a little bit of counterbalance. And you just take that right foot over to the left until you feel a stretch. And for many of us, this is a really nice way, especially in the morning, to start to feel the outer hip. You can really control exactly how much you feel. If you don't feel anything here, you're welcome to go all the way into a deeper twist if you need to. See what feels nice here. Again, keep your shoulders relaxed. Come back to the center line with that right leg. Place the sole of the right foot on the floor. Same thing on the left side. Draw the left knee in. And extend the sole of the foot up as you bring the left knee towards the left armpit for that half happy baby. Sort of just feeling into the inside of the hip. Feel free to extend your right leg if that feels better for you. And there's no particular shape that you're looking for. There's no particular place that you're on a journey to find. It's just that you are experimenting with what range of motion is possible, what range of motion feels good right now. And then from there, what you're going to do is go into that unicorn, taking the left foot over to the right. You can hold, of course, the foot or the calf or the thigh, whatever feels good. Finding that little stretch in the outside of the left hip. Again, there's not really a wrong place you can go if it feels really nice to your body. Stretches the outside of your left hip a little bit. Hesitate to play around. If you don't feel the stretch or it doesn't feel good, don't stay there. Experiment. Your body is different from everybody else's body, and it will need something different than everyone else's body. There's no one size fits all. There's not even a one size fits most. It's like everything is just a little bit different. We'll all get our own custom yoga pose. And when you're ready, you're going to release. You're going to place the sole of the left foot on the floor and then extend that left leg long. The right leg is not extended long yet. You can extend the right leg as well. Bring your arms up over your head as you inhale. Reach a little bit through your right fingertips, through your right toes. Really relax your left side so you feel some elongation on the right side of the body. And then relax the right side. Reach through the left side. Reach the toes down. Reach the fingertips up. Do once more on each side. Reaching the right side. Relaxing the left side. Reaching the left side. Relaxing the right side. Coming back to the center, draw the soles of your feet in. You could stay here, taking some windshield wipers, swaying the knees from side to side. You could, of course, hug your knees into your chest and rock gently back side to side there as well, if that feels good. Whatever feels pleasant for your hips and for your lower back for a few breaths. And then you could roll yourself all the way over to one side, pressing to seated. If you feel a little more frisky and it works for your spine, you have enough cushion in your mat, you can bring your hands behind your thighs and rock forward. Backward a few times. Maybe just 3 or 4. You're going to bring yourself to a cross-legged seat here as you're ready. Feel free to sit up onto a kind of low blanket. We are going to go into a little bit of a balance on our sacrum, so you don't want to be sitting up onto a block here unless you want to remove the block in a couple of moments. Just note what leg is crossed in front. It doesn't matter which one, we're just going to switch, and you'll want to remember because we're going to do something in between. Inhale, bring the center of your chest forward, find your seated cow pose, maybe even bring your gaze up. Exhale, bring your belly back, roll your shoulders forward, bring your gaze down, seated cat. Do a couple more like this. Set of cow and cat here. As you inhale, come forward through that cow shape one more time. As you exhale, you're going to gather your knees. If you're sitting up on a high prop, you're going to want to move it out to the side because you're going to gather your knees in. Your front foot is crossed over the ankle of your bottom foot, so I have my left foot over my right. I'm just going to remember that. Bring your hands behind your thighs. You can be floating the feet here. You can have the feet resting gently on the floor. Inhale, lift the center of your chest. Maybe you can give a few little pulses, releasing your legs, leaning a little back, extending the legs. 1, and drawing in. 2. You can always hold behind your thighs as you do this. And just 3. You're going to uncross your legs. Roll yourself all the way back. Use your hands if you need to. Go as slow as you can. Gather your knees into your chest as you are lying on the floor. Place the sole of your left foot on the mat. Extend your right leg up, catching behind the thigh, the calf, or the ankle. If you're really flexible, you can catch the foot. You're also welcome to use a strap here over your foot to get this stretch at the back of your right leg. As you're bringing that right leg towards you, think about drawing your right thigh bone again down towards your hip socket like you did in the half happy baby. So you're pressing the back of your right hip a little bit towards the floor. Relax your shoulders, take another deep breath here. And then this is the fun part. You're going to extend your right leg out straight. And maybe that's enough momentum to rock you up to seated. Maybe not. See how it goes. You might have to rock over to the side and then come up. But you're going to come all the way back up to seated. Extend both of your legs. Reach your arms up. If you need to bend your knees at any point, please don't hesitate, or sit back up on your prop. As you exhale, fold forward. You're reaching towards your feet. You may or may not get there. You might rest your hands on your thighs, your shins, maybe the floor or your feet. And take a few breaths. If all you feel as you do this is the back of your thighs or your lower back, that's when you bend your knees a little bit to give yourself some more space. Same idea as bending your knees in your Uttanasana, your forward fold. It just gives the stretch a little more space to come into your low back as opposed to just your hamstrings, because for many of us that is a chronically tight area and it inhibits us from getting a stretch in other areas because it's so tight. As you're ready, you're going to walk your fingertips back up and you're going to cross the other foot in front. I had my left foot, so now I'm going right foot in front in my cross-legged seat. Just do whatever it is the opposite. Inhale, bring the center of your chest forward, find your cow pose. Exhale, bring your chest back, find your cat pose. As you inhale, maybe you add some arms, drawing your shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, maybe you reach the arms together in front of you, palms, elbows, and forearms together, separating the shoulder blades. Do a few more like this. Maybe this next time, you wrap your right elbow underneath your left elbow. You can come into eagle, or you can just pull the arm across. And as you inhale, you come to the center. As you exhale, you can wrap the left elbow underneath. As you inhale, you come back. You can repeat wrapping the elbow, or just bringing the elbows and the forearms and the palms as close together as possible. Whatever works for you. Take a few more breaths here. Completing whatever you're working on. Your next inhale after that, you'll come into your cow-shaped spine, and then as you exhale, you lean back, you gather your knees in, your top ankle, the front ankle is on top of the other ankle, and maybe you're floating. Maybe you have a foot on the floor. Maybe you hold here for a few breaths, and this is plenty. Feel free to adjust on your tailbone, lifting the center of your chest. Maybe you give that little pulse, exhaling to lean back, inhaling to come forward. Just make sure in any of these positions that you feel the strength of your abdominals, not any twinginess or pain in your lower back. Now, see if you can roll slowly down. You can uncross your ankles. Feel free to use your hands if you need to. Gather the knees into the chest. Let the right foot come to the floor. Extend the left leg up, catching behind the thigh, the calf, the ankle, or onto the foot. Drawing that left leg a little in towards you, and then down. So the left hip now kind of plants firmly to the mat in this stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths here, relaxing your shoulders. Now, when you're ready, you can extend that left leg down in front of you. And maybe that momentum is enough to help you rock yourself up. You can also hold on to this right thigh, kind of pull yourself up if you need to, or you can rock to the side if that's not quite right for your back. Extend both of your legs in front of you. Flex your feet up to the ceiling. Feel free to bend your knees. As you inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, you find that forward fold. Take a few breaths here, really melt into this. Maybe you notice there's a little bit of a difference between the first side and the second side. Feeling free to move a little bit within your pose if you need to. When you're ready, roll yourself all the way back up. Roll your shoulders back. You can sit with your legs in front of you. You can recross your legs, any seated position that feels good. You're just going to take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, relax your shoulders. As you inhale, keep the relaxation in your shoulders as you start to lift your hands away from your lower back, away from your tailbone. Finding a stretch across the center of your chest. Keep your posture straight and tall here. It's just about stretching the front of the upper body. Take another deep breath. Release. Maybe roll your shoulders around a little bit. To make your way all the way up to standing at the front of your mat. Spread your toes nice and wide. Your feet are stable and comfortable distance apart for your body. As you inhale, reach your arms up over your head. As you exhale, bring your right hand down and your left arm over, finding a little bit of a side bend. Feel free to look up underneath that left armpit if that feels good. Inhale, come back to the center line, bring the right arm up. Exhale, bring the left hand down and the right arm a little over your head. And it's maybe the first kind of big movements of the day, so you don't have to go very far to feel the stretch. Inhale, come back to the center. Press the palms of your hands together. You're going to bend your knees, placing your forearms on your thighs. You're in this kind of downhill skier position. Stick your butt far out behind you. You can stick right here, just hanging out. This might feel great, maybe just nodding your chin towards your chest. If you want to go a little deeper, you can walk your fingertips down to your shins, to a prop, or all the way to the floor, but keep your belly and your thighs kind of really close together and keep your knees as deeply bent as you began with. So you're not straightening the legs right now, you're just starting to find a little bit of, again, that stretch in the lower back. You keep sticking your hips out behind you. You just bring your belly closer to your thighs to get deeper into this. You let your upper body become heavier and heavier towards the lower body. Keep the knees bent if you can. One more breath here. And then on your inhale, you're going to find your half lift. You're going to reach up, hands onto the shins, the thighs, spine parallel to the earth. As you exhale, rebend your knees. If you straighten your legs and fold forward. As you inhale, ragdoll, roll one vertebrae at a time up towards the sky. Arms can stay heavy. You're welcome to also take your arms out and up if that's what feels preferable to you. When you reach standing, roll your shoulders back. Let your palms rotate forward. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. As you exhale, you'll bring your left hand down and your right arm over, coming into that little side bend. As you inhale, come back to the center. As you exhale, go the other way. Inhale, come to the center, press the palms of your hands together, bend your knees, but this time let your hands stop in front of your heart, coming to your Utkatasana. As you inhale, open the center of the chest. Potentially you'd like to open your arms, coming back into that cow-shaped spine. As you exhale, round forward, palms, elbows, forearms together, elbows towards the belly. If that's too much for your back, you can always do this with your hands on your thighs. The bend in your knees is totally up to you. As you round through cow and cat a few times. Let's do one more set. And this time as you inhale, you're going to press into your heels, lift all the way up, arms overhead. As you exhale, press the palms of your hands together and fold all the way forward. A little bit of softness in your knees. As you inhale, find half lift. Feel free to straighten your legs if that feels right. As you exhale, plant your fingertips down. Step your left foot back. Drop your left heel to the floor. You're coming to a warrior one. If you feel like you're standing on a single monorail, your right heel is in line with your left heel. Walk your right foot a little to the right. So you're standing on two nice train tracks, separate ones. Right knee is over the right ankle and you press yourself up to standing. Hands could be on the hips. Arms could be to the sky. See what feels good. Square your hips lightly to the front of the room. So your right hip comes back, your left hip comes forward. So you feel the front of your left thigh, maybe your left lower belly getting a gentle stretch. Lift your arms up if you haven't already. Maybe even bring your gaze to the sky as you inhale. As you exhale, you're going to fold forward. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Turn your back foot straight forward and back. And step your right foot back next to your left foot, downward facing dog. If you prefer, you can always drop your knees and come to a table pose. Either way, dog or table, you're going to move a little bit, pedaling your feet. Maybe circling or swaying your hips. Feel free to move in the way that just feels really good. That's all that matters. From your table or your dog with your next inhale, you're going to lift your right foot up to the sky. Bend your right knee, stack your right hip on top of the left. Scorpion pose. Take a deep, full breath here. And then inhale, square your hips. And exhale, step that right foot back up to the front of the mat. Step the left foot next to the right foot. Find your forward fold as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, one smooth breath now rolls you up to the sky. Press your palms together now and lean to your right. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, come to the center. Keep the palms together. Exhale, bend your knees. Come to your chair pose, your Utkatasana. As you inhale, maybe you open your arms, cow pose. As you exhale, round forward cat pose. 2 more like that. As you inhale, now you're going to lift all the way up, pressing into your heels. Come to standing. As you exhale, fold forward. Hands can come through the center or out to the sides. Inhale, half lift. Maybe the legs like to be a little straighter. Exhale, plant the fingertips down. Step the right foot back. Make sure you have those big train tracks. You can always take the left foot further left as you drop the right heel to the floor at a 45-degree angle. Press the front foot into the mat and lift yourself to standing. Hands could be on the hips or all the way up to the sky already. Gently draw the left hip back and the right hip forward. Adjust the angle of your back foot so this feels comfortable to your knees. And then lift your arms to the sky when you're ready. Press your right heel into the mat and then lift up as if you're trying to lift your upper body out of your lower body. Maybe even gazing up to the ceiling. Inhale here. As you exhale, you fold forward. You're going to plant your hands, turn your back foot to face straight forward and back. Step your left foot next to your right foot, table. Or downward dog. Of course, you can always take this to a child's pose as well. Really nice for continuing to stretch the hips. And we're just working our way towards a full sun salutation here this morning. And all these little bits and pieces. And in the next few minutes, we'll get to a full one. So if you're wondering, where's my chaturanga? Where's my cobra? Where's my sphinx? It's coming. When you're ready, you're going to lift your left foot up as you inhale. Bend your left knee, stack your left hip on top of your right. Find your scorpion. Feel the openness of the front of your hip. And then square those hips. And step the left foot forward. Step the right foot next to the left foot. Find your forward fold as you exhale. As you inhale, roll yourself all the way up to the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Bend your knees, Utkatasana. A little variation now. You're going to stay in your Utkatasana here. Hands can be on the heart, hands can be on the thighs or the hips, wherever it feels good to you. Lift your right heel up. Now, that might feel like plenty. As you lift your right heel up, you want to tuck your left hip in towards the center line so that you are standing as much as possible with your hips underneath your shoulders. You're not kind of leaning out to one side. Now, from there, that might feel like just enough. You stay. Or as you inhale, you can straighten the left leg. Keep the right heel elevated. And as you exhale, you can bend the knee. A little one-legged squat. We'll do a few like that. That doesn't feel like quite enough. You can always add on a little bit. Lifting the right knee as you come up out of that squat. And dropping the right toes as you come back in. You're adding a little element of balance. And about 2 more. Your variation. And then on this next one, you're going to come into the squat. You're going to put your right heel down. You're going to lift your left heel up. So you're just switching sides. Readjust everything. Get comfortable. Tuck your right hip in. So it's like not going out to the side. It's very tempting because you've lifted that heel to sway out to the side to balance the weight. Really hug that hip into the center line. Maybe you stay. Maybe you do some pulsing. Maybe you decide, element of balance this morning, and you lift that left foot away from the floor and then put it back down. And you lift and you put it back down. And you go at your own pace, your own range of motion. It feels a little warm in your hips right now. Let's do 1 more. And then you're going to place the soles of both feet down. You're in your Utkatasana as you exhale. As you inhale, you're going to come all the way up. Press the palms of your hands together. As you exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your fingertips down. Step your left foot back. Bring your left heel to the floor, bending that right knee over the right ankle, adjusting the distance between the feet as needed. And then come on up, warrior 1. When you're ready, lift your arms to the sky. Inhale deeply here. As you exhale, you're going to fold forward, drawing your arms back behind you like airplane wings. Take a moment to lift your belly button. See how that feels in your lower back. If it feels a little tender, maybe bring your hands to your thighs to help support your lower back today. Continue to lift your abdominals up and shrug your shoulders back. If you feel really strong and stable in your back, you can bring your arms out to the side a little more rather than back behind you. A little more challenge for your upper back. Take another breath here. Press down into your right heel, and with your next inhale, lift up. Warrior one. Exhale to fold forward, plant your hands under your shoulders. Left foot turns to face straight forward and back, and you step back to downward dog, or dropping the knees, table pose. Now on your inhale, finally pull forward to your plank. Knees up or knees down. Lower yourself all the way to the floor. Untuck your toes. Tuck your elbows in. Inhale, lift the center of your chest. Cobra pose, going to the height that feels comfortable in your lower back. Exhale to release. You could go back to table pose, child's pose, or downward facing dog pose. I'm going to do a funky child's pose to stretch my feet. Tucking the toes under as I bring my hips back towards my heels. Do what feels just right to you. As you're ready, I'm going to come to table or dog if you're not already there. And on an inhale, float your right foot again to the sky. Bend your right knee, stack your right hip on top of your left. Scorpion pose. Inhale, square your hips. As you exhale, step that right foot forward. Now, a little variation on stepping forward. As you step your left foot forward, step just your toes forward, comfortable distance. You leave your left heel elevated. And you bend your knees. And you lift into this one-legged Utkatasana. Any variation on arms that feel good. Maybe here as you inhale, you can lift all the way up. And maybe you just balance on your left toes. Maybe you lift your left knee. Take a deep breath. Lift the center of your chest. And then you're going to press the left toes down. You're going to press the left heel down and come back to your Utkatasana. Inhale, lift all the way up. Both feet are on the floor. Press the palms of your hands together. Lean to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the center. As you exhale, bend your knees, coming into that Utkatasana. Lifting the right heel up. Finding that little bit of balance. Tuck your hips in. Hold here for a breath. Or pulse up. And then down. You're going to now press your right heel down, lift your left heel up. You can hold here, you can pulse up. And down is pretty brief. You're going to press the left heel down. Both heels are now on the floor. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right foot back. Drop the right heel to the mat. Adjust the distance between the feet if you need to. And inhale your way up to warrior one. Square your hips. Lift your chest as if you're lifting the upper body away from the lower body here. Take a breath. And then fold forward. Hands come behind you like airplane wings. Or onto the thigh. Or out to the side if that feels good. Take a few breaths here. Again, keep lifting your belly away from your thigh. Your core is engaged. Feel the heat building in your left hip. And press into that left heel. Lift all the way back up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, you fold forward. You plant your hands. You turn your back foot straight forward and back. And you go back to table. Downward facing dog. Inhale forward, come to a plank. Knees up or down, exhale to the floor. You could take cobra again. You're welcome to take upward facing dog if you feel ready. You're also welcome to take sphinx, elbows under the shoulders. Making your way back as you're ready to table. Or child or downward facing dog for a few breaths. When you're ready, inhale the left leg to the sky, bend the left knee, stack the left hip on top of the right, scorpion. And then square the hips. Step the left foot forward. You're going to step the right foot up, but just those right tippy toes. And then bend the knees, see if you can come into that one-legged tap, basically, of an Utkatasana. And maybe you just straighten up and you keep your toes on the floor. Maybe as you straighten up, you can see if you can lift that right leg, just finding a little moment of balance. And then release the right heel to the floor. Immediately bend the knees again. You're coming back to Utkatasana. Feel free to bring your hands to your thighs. Stick your bum far out behind you. Inhale, lift the center of your chest. Exhale, round. You're coming back to that cow and cat. Let's do 2 more of each. Coming back to neutral as you inhale. As you exhale, you're going to press down into both of your heels. This time, as you inhale, you straighten your legs, and maybe you can lift up onto both sets of tippy toes. Let your hands be wherever they help you. As you exhale, lower your heels, bend your knees, come back to Utkatasana. And this is not usually very graceful until you've practiced it a few times. So do your best. It may go up or down faster or slower than you'd like. We're going to do a few more. Feel free to add some arms. Woo. Just all these variations of hip heaters. Let's try one more. This time, leave your heels on the floor as you inhale and come all the way up. Keep the palms together, lean to the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale to the center. As you exhale, fold forward. Your choice of where to place your arms as you do so. Inhale, half lift. As you exhale, step your left foot back. You're coming back to your warrior one, so drop your right heel to the floor. Drop your left heel to the floor. Press your right heel to the mat. Right foot is forward, left foot is back. Sweep your arms up. Warrior one. We're going to flow a little bit with our folding, our lightning warrior. This is your inhale, warrior one. Your exhale, you're going to sweep your hands back behind you and fold forward, lightning. Inhale, press into your right heel, lift yourself up. Exhale, flow forward. Feel free to be resting your hands on your thigh the whole time to support your lower back. If you want a little more, you can lift your back heel away from the floor as you come forward and lower it down as you come back. Do a few more like this. One more set. Inhale, come all the way back up. As you exhale, you're going to fold again. This time, bring your right hand to your right hip and your left hand to the floor. Reach the crown of your head forward and begin to twist over to your right. As you come to the right, you may notice quite an intense stretch on the outer right hip. If it's too much, lift your back heel and you can rotate your back foot to face straight forward and back, more of a lunge position here. Shrug your shoulders back. Maybe you want to bring your right arm up to the sky. Twisted lunge or twisted warrior. See what works for you. All right. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to fold all the way down. As you inhale, lift yourself back up, warrior one. Straighten your front leg a little bit. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Draw your right hip back as you fold to pyramid pose. Coming out over that little bit straighter right thigh. Shrug the shoulders back. You could leave your hands at your heart or out like airplane wings, again, working the muscles of your back. You could go full stretchy, hands to thigh, calf. You can place them on props or all the way to the floor. Enjoy the sensation here. Inhale, you're going to bend that front knee. You're going to look a little bit forwards. You're going to take your back foot, lift the heel if you haven't already, turn it straight forward and straight back. Plant your hands down and lift your right foot all the way up into the sky to go for three-legged dog, or drop your left knee for three-legged table. Immediately bend your right knee, stack your right hip on top of your left for scorpion pose. Take a few breaths here. Square your hips as you inhale. As you exhale, you're going to step your right foot all the way up, now right in between your hands at the front of the mat. turn your left heel to face towards, turn your left toes. It's a way better indicator. Turn your left toes to face the long edge of the mat. And then you're going to windmill your way up. Left arm comes to the sky. You reach it up, press into your right fingertips, and lift to warrior two. Your right foot is facing the short edge of the mat. Your left foot is facing the long edge of the mat. Straighten your front leg. Take your hips a little back. We're going right towards our triangle. So you reach your right fingertips forward, and then you fold hand to thigh, to calf. You go to the block if you have one, inside, outside. You can see what feels good and spacious. Resting on the leg somewhere. Just like in the side bends and in the warrior, you're elongating the sides of your torso. It's like you're trying to lift your upper body just away from your lower body. Imagine that you are a Lego person. And if you've played with a Lego or seen a Lego recently, the legs disconnect from the torso. Imagine you have that possibility and you're just starting to pull your torso away from your legs at the beginning of that separation. Take a deep breath here. And then release. You're going to fold your left hand to the floor. You're going to plant your fingertips. You're going to turn your right foot straight forward and back. If you ended up standing again on a monorail, I know I did, walk your right foot a little over to your right hand. And then you're going to step your left foot in. You're going to leave that left heel lifted up. So you're coming back into that kind of toe tapping Utkatasana squat. Bend your knees and lift up. Hands anywhere that they help you. As you inhale, come to standing. Keep the left toes on the floor. As you exhale, bend the knees. And of course, you can do that variation. We're going to be doing a little bit of lifting. Last one, you're going to press the left heel down. Immediately lift all the way up as you inhale, and as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your fingertips, step your right foot back, drop your right heel to the floor, make sure you have space, and then come on up. Warrior one. Square your hips, relax your shoulders, lift upwards, lighten your upper body up. This is your in-breath. Out breath, you fold forward. Find your lightning warrior. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. I'm going to do this a few more times. Feel free to have your hands on your thigh. Feel free to add a little bit, lifting that back heel up as you come forward, lowering it as you come up. That just gives a little more work to your quadriceps and your hamstrings. Kind of 360 degrees of the thigh. One more. Come all the way back up as you inhale. Both heels are planted down. Straighten the front leg. Hands to the heart as you fold. Finding your pyramid. You can stay kind of in a, unsupported pyramid with your hands at your heart, your arms behind you. You'll really engage your belly and reach the crown of your head forward. Really strong back muscles. Or you can go for the stretch. Hands to the thigh. The calf. Props. Or even if you're ready, all the way to the floor. Just enjoy the sensation of the back of your leg. It's just preparing us for that triangle in a few minutes here. Relax your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Inhale. You're going to soften that front knee. You're going to plant your hands down. You're going to look a little bit forward as you turn that back foot straight forward and back. Plant your hands down. And then lift that left leg straight to the sky, three-legged dog, or if you prefer table. Bend the left knee, stack it on top of the left hip. Find your scorpion. Just enjoy a little bit of kind of lightness in that standing leg that's been doing so much work. And then square the hips. Step the left foot back to the front of the mat. Turn your right toes to face the long edge of the mat. You're going to windmill up, so the right arm lifts and rainbows up to the sky. You can press into your thigh or a block or the floor with your left hand as you come to warrior two. Open your arms parallel to the earth. Straighten your front leg. Bump your hips back, reach your fingertips forward, and fall to your triangle. Reach the crown of your head forward again. You're that Lego person, and this part of your body is able to separate. You can start to lift your torso out of your legs. Gaze point is where it feels comfortable for your body. When you're ready, breathe in where you are, and as you breathe out, you fold your right hand down towards the floor. You turn your back foot to face straight forward and back. You can be bending your front knee. I always like to walk my left foot left because I end up with my left foot and my right foot in a big line, and that's not very convenient when you step forward. And when you step those right toes forward, leave the heel lifted. Oh my goodness, see if you can come to your Uttanasana. Maybe you just stay here. Maybe you pulse, inhaling and exhaling. Maybe you go even a step further and you float. All right. Press that right heel down. Come back to your squat as you exhale. As you inhale, come all the way to standing. Lift your arms up. As you exhale, simply bring your hands to your heart. You can stay exactly where you are. I'm just going to turn to face you. I'm going to come into a little balance here. As you're ready, lift your left heel. Weight is on your right foot. Same idea as how we started. Now, you can try this two different ways and see which variation works best for you. You can try to lift up your left knee and cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee. Or you can try bending your knees and then doing the cross. And you can see which way is easier to come into that cross. For some of us, our ankle does not get over the top of our knee, and we have to practice with our ankle over our shin. If that's the case, that's completely fine. You're a figure four here. You can still sit back. You can even sit back a little bit here, or even a little tree pose as you draw your right hip back. If you've been successful in crossing the ankle over the knee and you can sit further back, feel free to bring your palms together and bring your forearms towards your shin. Stretching your outer left hip here is the idea. If you feel really frisky today and you want to add it on a little bit, you can release your right fingertips to the floor and twist your left. Maybe even bringing your left arm up to the sky. Maybe another deep breath wherever you are. And then go ahead and release. Maybe you can even lift that left knee back up without falling completely over. And place the left foot on the floor. Shake things out. And then we'll go over to the other side. Weight to the left foot. Lift your right heel up. Now you could cross over while standing straight up. Or you could try sitting back and crossing over. Sometimes I find that a little easier because it feels like the distance between my ankle and my knee are lessened. And also it gives kind of like a little shelf for your ankle to rest on. See what works for you. If you are practicing with the ankle over the knee and you can sit even further back, go for it. Maybe you feel very wobbly today. You can start to bring your palms together, arms towards the shin. And of course, if you feel extra frisky, you can go for the twist, left hand down and twist to the right. And you may notice I don't go nearly as far on this side. It's a little more wobbly. It's also a lot more tight on this side today. So I'm just going to stay with my hand on my thigh. If you want to, you can raise your right arm up to the sky. Maybe another deep breath here. And when you're ready, release. Maybe it's graceful, maybe it's not. Place your feet on the floor and shake everything out. Relief. When you're ready, if you came away from it, come back to the front of your mat. Spread your toes wide. Lift your arms up over your head as you inhale. As you exhale, press the palms of your hands together. Lean to your left. Maybe you lean so far to the left, you bring your weight to the left and you lift your right foot away from the floor. Inhale back to the center, put your right foot down, lean to the left. No, lean to the right, excuse me. You're bringing your weight to the right and then you're going to lift your left leg. So you're going just the opposite direction. Inhale to the center. And exhale, fold all the way forward. No more squats. Inhale, halfway. As you exhale, plant your hands down, step your left foot back, bring your left heel to the floor. You're coming one last time to warrior one. Arms come up. Inhale here. As you exhale, straighten your front leg. You're going to fold towards your pyramid pose, drawing your right hip back and your left hip forward. Now, you are more than welcome to stay right here. This might feel like plenty for your hips and your thighs. If you want to try going into a twisted triangle, your hips feel open, I highly recommend starting with a prop, like a block or a water bottle or a book, underneath your left hand. Your right hand is on your right hip. Start with a little bend in your right knee and twist to your right. So it could be almost the same as that twisted warrior pose. Your right leg could be a little bit straighter, and lift your right arm to the sky. Now, if this ends up being more of a twisted lunge variation with the back heel lifted, that's totally fine. You're going to the place where your body allows. If you have a lot of space, you can always fold your block down or bring your left hand to the floor here for twisted triangle. It's quite an intense pose. If you get there, squeeze your inner thighs together. Again, see if you can now, in this twisty variation, separate the upper body from the lower body, reach it forward. Inhale here. As you exhale, come down towards the floor. You're going to soften that front knee, plant your hands down. You're going to go back to your three-legged table or your three-legged dog, taking that right foot all the way up to the sky as you inhale. Bend the right knee, stack it on top of the right hip, scorpion. Inhale, square the hips. As you exhale, now bring your right knee behind your right hand for pigeon. If this variation feels good, slide your left thigh back, untucking your left toes. You're more than welcome to stay up quite high here today. We're going to fold forward. If this variation of pigeon doesn't work for your body, you're welcome to try pinwheel, sitting on the outer edge of your right hip. Left knee draws in a little bit so your legs make a pinwheel shape, and you could fold forward from here. Maybe that doesn't feel so great, so you rock onto your back here, and you bring your right ankle over the top of your left knee. Option to draw the left knee into the chest, or to leave the left knee on the floor. Any of these is very appropriate. We're just targeting that outer right hip that we just worked in the twisted triangle. When you're ready, you're going to release and you're going to make your way back to table or dog because we have that triangle before we get to relax on the left side. If you're facing forward, you're just going to lift your torso up and then squeeze that right leg back behind you. If you're on your back, you could try that little kick forward, kicking your right foot forward, rocking yourself all the way up, and then swinging your legs back behind you maybe to get back to your table or your downward facing dog. And we're going to start this one going forwards rather than backwards. So lift your left leg up and step your left foot behind your left hand. Bring your right heel to the floor. So you're coming into your warrior one and lift yourself up. Square your hips, straighten your front leg a little bit and fold to pyramid. Find that orientation first, find that little drawback of your left hip, and then decide if you are ready to go into the twist. Maybe using a prop on the inside of your left foot for your right hand. I like to start with my left hand on my hip as I begin to twist, and I can kind of be like, this feels pretty good, or no, I need to bend my knee more deeply to get into the twist, or lift my back heel. You want to feel a stretching sensation on your outer left hip, but of course no sharp pains in this position. You can go with your left arm up to the sky if you feel ready, and of course you can always adjust the height of your prop, or have your hand all the way to the floor if you feel quite flexible here this morning. Spend a few breaths just experimenting. Take a deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, you're going to release this. Bring your hands to the floor, plant them down. Turn your back foot straight forward and back. You're going to three-legged table or three-legged dog, left leg to the sky. Bend your left knee, stack it on top of, well, I guess you are stacking your knee on top of your hip. Left hip on top of right hip for scorpion. And then square the hips and make your way towards pigeon. Again, you could go in a traditional forward-facing pigeon here. Maybe with a little fold forward. You could go pinwheel pigeon, outer edge of the left hip is on the mat. Legs are pinwheel shaped as you fold. Or you can go onto your back, left ankle over the top of the right knee. Totally your preference. And when I say your preference, I mean the preference of your body, not the preference of your ego. Be honest with yourself about where actually feels like a good and beneficial stretch for the outside of your left hip. I get a little bit of a stretch in that forward-facing pigeon. It feels quite nice because I'm kind of squishing myself onto the leg. But if I'm really honest with myself, I get a much better stretch here on my back because I can control exactly how much I'm getting very easily. I don't have to lift and lower my torso. I just hug my knee a little closer towards me. It also feels a lot more kind to my knees, this position. There's no discomfort there. And I hope the same for you. No discomfort in your knees. So we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. So we'll come back to table or dog. If you're facing forward, you kind of just lift yourself up and wiggle that leg back. Again, if you're lying on the floor with me and you want to try it, you can extend your left leg out as you hold that right knee and kind of kick yourself up. Just a little extra core work just for fun. Swing your legs behind you and come back to table or downward facing dog. Take a few breaths, move around a little bit there. And then as you inhale, come forward to plank. Lower all the way to the floor. Knees could be up or down. Once you come all the way to the floor, we're going to all take Sphinx together. So you'll lift the center of your chest as you bring your elbows forward. More or less under your shoulders. Palms can be on the floor or palms can press to one another. Shrug your shoulders back. Lift the center of your chest. Press the tops of your feet to the floor. Now again, you want to slither now your upper body out of your lower body. You're separating them like you're that Lego person. Maybe you like to nod your chin towards your chest here. You can look a little over to the right. And keeping the chin close to the chest, a little to the left, stretching things out. Another deep breath in your Sphinx. And as you're ready, gently lower down. Bring your hands under your shoulders and press back towards your child's pose. Now you can do this next one from your child's pose or from a table pose, your choice. If you're doing child's pose, I recommend bringing your knees a little further apart. Take your right arm in front of underneath your left armpit. You can look underneath that left arm as you reach it in front of you. You're welcome to take your left hand behind your back. If child's pose doesn't feel so good, you can always do this in your table pose. Feel free to place any kind of prop underneath your head in either position. Going to unwind, and you're going to go the other way. Either in your child or in your table, your preference. See what feels good. See what feels good for the positioning of your left arm here. Regardless of where you are, this should feel again like that good, beneficial stretch for the back of your left shoulder. Yourself forward onto your belly to rest for a few breaths, or Or you could rest for a few breaths in your child's pose. See what feels just right. From here, we're going to make our way towards Shavasana. And you are welcome, of course, to Shavasana in any position that feels good. You could walk your hands in and you could take your Shavasana as a meditative seated position. You could roll yourself down to the floor and lie flat on your back. Of course, if there's another pose or shape that your body would like for a Shavasana preparation before you go there, feel free to add that in. Anything that is a relaxing pose for your body. And find your way to the place that feels really easy, really comfortable today. Feel free, of course, to accessorize, bringing your blanket underneath you or over the top of you to keep you warm. And just find a position, find an asana, a pose for your body that feels relaxing. gentle sigh out. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Turn your head a little from right to left. As you're ready, you can roll yourself all the way over to one side to rest for a few breaths. Before making your way to your most comfortable seated position here today. As you're ready, you can bring your hands in front of your heart. We'll close with our deep breath together, in through the nose, out through the mouth, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and, of course, your time with me. I hope you feel a little more open and ready to proceed with your day. Have a wonderful rest of it.